Hello, me lovelies. Now, Paul, I can see you in the chat there. If you could actually get on the show, that would be a good idea, you know. Right, let's look. Hello, Carol. Hello, Miss Magpie. Taking the mic. Oh, I know you were joking taking the mic. Don't worry. I knew you were. It wasn't aimed at you. It's just someone else made a nasty comment. So don't take it that it was getting at you. I wasn't. Here we are. Let's address this one. And remove that post about Kelly. Don't be using your platform to bully us. No, I won't actually remove that comment about Kelly because she's the one doing the bullying. And she's a bully herself. And I remember the days when she was ganging up on me with a whole channel. And she was one of them. So, no, I won't remove it. When she's calling other people liars, when she's going round lying all the time. So we'll leave that one at that. So, Paula, where are you, sweetheart? Hello, Crystal. Yeah, you're in trouble. Good God, what's she done to herself? Good. That's not Paula. God blimey, I've seen some of them down the clubs. They usually, they have big, deep voices and tattoos on the chest. Anyway, come on.
I've got the tattoos, the chest.
Oh, don't you keep them where they are. I've heard about you. I've heard the rumours about you. Keep them where they are. Yes. No ladies' dirty pillows on Anne's channel. I'll tell you now. No, they can see your dirty pillows. The breasts, mama.
They're no dirty pillows. Mine look like melted heat packs.
Oh God! But yeah. So anyway, today we're doing something completely different, aren't we? We're actually going to be talking, and I'm going to be doing a praise, and I'm going to be doing telling off as well. But the whole point is, it's to see what people think of my philosophy of how to deal with when you're getting, with what YouTube is, and when you're getting hate, and when you're looking for friendships and things like that. So it's more or less, I'm not picking on Paula. Paula knows that we've had this discussion before. What I'm doing is using Paula as a platform to discuss it. So sometimes I might sound like I'm saying something harsh, or it's like, oh, it's not. It's just so that all people, I'm a swinger, that all people can, get used to it. I Dark Wizard, I Mad. Anyway, and forgive me, people who don't see all the comments in the chat because I concentrate. But anyway, first of all, I always say, if you ever heard the saying, positive, negative, positive sandwich. Have you ever heard of that?
When I went to do my HNC in counselling psychology, they always said replace a negative with a positive. That's what I heard. Well, that's similar,
Similar. What it is, and I'm a great believer in this. I used to squat master because and I used to always get annoyed when people wouldn't do it. You start off with a positive, unless you really can't stand someone or the situation is really bad, then you don't do it. You just go straight for the negative, because sometimes you have to be negative, Paul. You have to be with people because they're just out of order. But you start off with a positive comment, then you put a negative comment in the middle. Then you cushion it with a positive comment. And what it is, you're not saying to the person, you're crap, you're rubbish, there's no hope for you, blah, blah, blah. You say, no, there's things wrong. But I get things wrong. But first of all, this is the first positive thing. I do the Ogham. Now, the Ogham is an old Celtic, basically Irish, I think it starts up in an ancient Irish way of asking for advice from their powers that be. So I did a question and I said, what do you want me to tell Paula when she comes on my show? And this is what it came up with. I don't know whether you can see that, people. And if I've got dirty fingers, because I've been in the garden again. Now, that is the beige. The beige. Now, it's interesting because what the beige talks about, and this is what I've always had the sense of with you, it's basically talks about beginnings. The beige tree is the first tree that gets leaves in the spring. So it's the first one to come to fruition, and it will, in a desert, it will come to life, basically. It won't exist anywhere. Now, What it's saying is that you face a horrible situation, but you'll always bounce back from it. Your leaves will always bloom at some point. And that's what I think about you. You get wrapped up in the moment as it happens and get affected by it. And you think, oh, this is it. It's not going to change. This is forever. Then suddenly you'll change around. You'll just change your attitude and think, stuff us. And you'll get on with it and go on to something new or a new passion. Get on that way. So it's funny that he picked that one. I tell you now, the Occam always seems to be right. He picked that one that basically it was saying, what you're worrying about, you're going to come back from it again, you know, and you can succeed on your own terms, basically. You don't have to be wanting on others. But so that's the positive one, because I like doing my Occam. I like doing that. So I thought I'd do it.
What's the negative one?
You know. Oh, no. We're not going to have next like that. Now, what made me do this was that Paula has been, yesterday you had a bit of a moment, didn't you? Explain to people what happened without naming names.
I had a bit of a breakdown yesterday because over the last wee while, I've lost some good friends that I thought were really genuine friends. And again, people will say, oh, it's social media. It doesn't matter. If you class somebody as a friend and you hold them dear to you, that's important to me. Because I'm not very trusting. So if I trust you, then I've got your back. But lately, they've been dropping like flies. And then last night, I'd noticed a certain group were all tagged in the one post on somebody else's page. And I contacted the one of them, and I says, I noticed I've been taken off Facebook, and I was like, have I done something to upset you? Because at that point, you know, I've messaged umpteen people. You get to that point and you go, what do I say here?
Yeah.
I know I've done nothing to upset them, but how do I put it across to them what's going on? And the response I got was, I'm not upset. I'm just fucked off that apparently I was accused of tagging this person in a post on my Facebook, like to be malicious. Now, Anne, you can verify, you're on my Facebook. Go down my posts. I had put up the post about me getting my hair cut. You know, the post with the microphone and I'm getting my hair cut, and loads of people were commenting. And that one person had said, you know, I'll let me know when it's done. So I tagged her when it was done. How's that been malicious?
I think what it is, Paula, right, because I said to you, didn't I, when we were talking about it on Facebook, I said, what you have to be careful with tagging, and also, this is another thing in life, and I can get tripped up by this. You can say or do something with you've got one reason for doing it, but the person who receives it has another impression. Now with tagging, and people, you have to be very careful with tagging. You'll find out or very, very, very rare tag people into anything. Actually, on you, if it's YouTube, you can get in trouble for it. You know, when people put these hashtags and put people's names, you can actually get in trouble for that if you do it too much. But what it can do, it can sort of, let's put it this way, someone you know well, Humble Dryer. Now, Humble Dryer will tag me in some posts he's done. Now, someone could take that he's tagging in people that agree with him, but he's not. He's tagging in people to say, no, you've got to see this. But I could take it as, oh, wait a minute, you've tagged me in saying I'm agreeing with you. It's the perception and the intention that can clash. So this person has most probably thought, this is the way I read it. They thought, wait a minute, I'm getting tagged into something and they're seeing drama going on and they're thinking, wait a minute, this is going to suck me right into it. But I know what you mean, that they should have told you. But there's this whole thing about, you know, friendship on YouTube. We had a discussion on, didn't we? Now, you know my views on friendship. I'm very, very direct about it. I don't have any little fluffy ideas about friendship.
No, you don't.
Because, and this is why I wanted to do this with you, to say to people, look, the basic reality is, if you can come onto YouTube and get friends, nice. Very, very nice. But what I see people doing is they start using each other as a crutch to lean on when they're going through a bad time. And they have bad time, maybe they don't have anyone to talk to, or they can't talk to someone because they won't get the thing. And they almost use it as a counselling thing. Very, very foolhardy thing to do, because unless you know someone, you meet them, you see them, you mix with them day in, day out, you can't be sure which way they can turn. And
Yep.
you'll have experienced this. I bet loads of people have experienced this in the chat. And please say if you have or not, where you've thought, oh, this person's great, they're fine. Then, like that, without a warning, they turn right on you. And it's like, wait a minute, that's not the person. So just so I'm not doing all the talking and preaching here, which you can come across as, is what was it that when you're on YouTube, because I found that with you, when we started talking, you were very quickly wanting to prove to me that you trusted me. That's one thing you felt the need to say, I trust you, Anne. I trust you. Now, that trust that you need to find in people, what is it in yourself that needs to find that trust, or needs that trust to be able to totally trust someone?
I think because I've been let down so much in my life, and I've always said, especially a parent, it comes to like your mum and dad, if you don't have them to lean on and rely on and go to, then who do you have? So I never had that. So I always vowed that I'd have that for my kids. Because I grew up with that, without like the normal family, grandpa, grandpa, nana, all that sort of stuff. It was never a functional life. So because I went through all that, I just don't want anybody to go through that. And a lot of it I went through myself. So if anything, I would say I'm too trusting, because I just want to show somebody that I'm not like all those bad people in reality that's been in my life. And that's one of those things that's in my head. It's like, you need to prove to people that there's not that many bad people out there. And I think that's because I've had so many in my life, just like a lot of people have had. But that's where my passion comes from, and that's where my mouth comes from.
But don't you think that people can work it out for themselves? They don't need you to prove it. That's the problem. I think the issue that comes up.
Yeah, definitely. But the fact that I've been involved with the Humbles for the last 3 years, and again, it's like, Anne, I've not been bitchy or snippy or anything like that. I've not done anything like that at all. I walked away. But for them to try and pull me back in and try and destroy anything about me, it's like, why?
Yeah, but in fairness, I'm going to say something here, Paula, right? You have been bitchy with the Humbles. You have been, and I noticed that. I mean, that one that you appeared on, what's his name? Oh, God.
Cesspit?
Cesspit, yeah, when you appeared on that. That was, the first one was anger, and that was preferable to the second one, because the second one, which is not there anymore.
That was a bitch fest. That was a bitch fest. And I did say the next day, I wasn't proud of myself. I wasn't proud of myself, because I fell back into that path again.
Yeah.
Because I'd done so well the night before. Yeah, I can understand how people would say, oh, you're so loud. But this was 2 months of stuff that was kept in here, where I was told by loads of people, don't say anything, don't say anything. And I didn't. And still stuff was coming out. And it was stuff that my kids could see. So I had to make a stand.
Yeah.
If I could take back that Sunday, I would, and I regret that. And I don't regret or take a lot of things back, but I wasn't proud of myself. I really wasn't proud of myself.
Well, one thing you did, and only that I knew better, I could have turned around and turned right on you. that you said in that show, because at one point you turned around and said, no, only that I understood what lay behind it, but you just didn't word it too well, which we can all do. But she turned around at one point and said, you know, Anne told me, you know, let's have this show the next day. Do you remember I said to you, well, we'll have a show? To explain to people, before you went on the cesspit, I'd said to you, shall we do a show? And you said, yeah, tomorrow. And it was supposed to be me inviting Humble if he wanted to come along and having a relaxed sort of talk about it. Not getting your friends, but relaxing and talking about it. So I set her up, and then you told me after the fact that we were going on the cesspit, because of course you didn't see any problem with that. Nothing wrong with that. You naturally assumed, well, I can go on the cesspit, but you didn't know that my rule was, or my rule has always ever been, if you've got to clear something up or make a statement, do it once, then say to people, there we are, if you want to know.
That to me.
Yeah.
You did say that to me in the voice note. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes, you did, Anne. But the reason, like I said to you...
There we are. No, stop that. There's nothing you're doing, jumping in, right? Anne's going to finish. Now, so we said that. So I said to you, well, you'll have to make the choice, either the cesspit or mine, because there's no point, not in a funny like way.
No,
Because I said to you, well, I'll take mine down and go on the cesspit. And you felt, quite rightly, you'd made the commitment first to them. So you had to see that through, quite rightly. But when it came up in the show, the delivery was bad, because you turned around and you put it across us. Oh, yeah, Anne said to me, come on my show. And I said, no, I'm not like that. Which you did say that to me. I'll have to go on this because I've said it. But it came across as I was trying to pinch you and saying, you don't be them. But it's only that's that I knew.
That's not the way I want to come across.
Exactly. Never. And that plays into what I'm saying. Sometimes people can say things and you can get it completely wrong. You're a receiver and you're receiving it completely. Now, I could have gone, oh, she's made out this. But I thought all that's happened there is she's gone to say one thing and it's just come out.
So much anger, Anne. So much anger.
But
so much anger. Not the best way to went about it, but and again, it's like I'm the first person to stand up and say, I'm loud, I'm annoying, I don't watch playbacks and videos and lives. Hi, Craig, I don't watch things, I don't watch them back, because I go, I hate my voice. I hate my voice.
But
it's the worst ever. It's like, that's what I say to people, I'll be in your worst nightmares, and it's like, I will, because my voice will be like,
What it is, and this, you've got to admit it, and I'm a Scouser, and I know what Scousers can sound like, and Scottish people know that your accent can have a lot of impact. It's like I've always said, if you hear a Southerner, a Cockney swearing, it doesn't sound all that bad, but if you hear a Scouser swearing, it sounds horrible, because it's that sound that they do. We've got that sound, that okay, and it sounds odd. But the Scottish, when you start raving and ranting, you can either sound funny or you sound bleeding scary. And especially when a woman does it, it's like what we call in Liverpool a bruiser. It comes across like a bruiser. You know, I'm telling you, and all this. So it's the accent where, if you, let's say, we're from Cambridge or something, I don't like this. But it's like if you were from Cambridge and you were saying exactly the same thing, but in a sort of upper class dialect, it wouldn't sound like that. That's what it is. It's all down to your accent. Because sometimes I hear, Scousers, especially Scouse women, and especially when they're really, and it's like, oh, good God. And they'll be beautiful, right? And you'll think the beauty's just gone now. So the accent can do a hell of a lot to make someone sound harsher than they actually are.
Yeah, it's like if I was walking through the town centre and like I see a homeless guy and I'd be like, "You all right?" You'd probably think, oh, "You're gonna rob me."
Yeah, that's it. Some Scottish dialects can be very, very harsh. It's a shouting language.
My local shop, they'll just, if there's somebody in front of me and they're taking forever and they're just being like annoying, and they'll see me pulling their faces and they'll be like, because again, it's like You can't hide it. You just can't. And I'm like,
Now,
come on, come on.
I'll give an example of what I mean. Right? I remember years ago when it was at the Everyman Theatre in Liverpool, we used to have this administrator, and she was very, very clipped. But she was she didn't train herself. You can always tell when someone's had elocution lessons. She was naturally very clipped, so she'd been brought up very. Think it ideal. New glosses on the end. Right, this judging everyone. Very proper. If people think I'm proper, she was beyond proper. And punctuation had to be right. Everything had to be perfect. And she was sitting there one day, and I was talking to her. She got on with me. Many people found her very put off, but because I came from the ballet background and that was considered, you know, and I could speak to her on a level, she used to say things to me that she wouldn't go into discussions with. And I remember this day I was sitting there, and what we were talking about, oh God, I nearly died. I'm not going to go into it because people go, oh, that's terrible. We had this woman. I know what she said. That's why I'm laughing. I'm sorry. But this woman who was complaining all the time, and she was Chinese. Well, she came in to complain again about something, and so this administrator didn't like the director she was complaining about. So she picked up the phone and said, she's coming. She wasn't there. So this Chinese wasn't there, but she said to him what her name was, and she made it up. But it was offensive. It was offensive what she said. And he, being an idiot, he thought, you know, knew it all, took it on board. So when this woman called him, he said, hello, miss. Oh, there was murder over it. Anyway, he came, she said to me, she was relating this, I'm getting this all secondhand. And so I said, well, what did he do? She said, he came out. She said to give me a talk. And Paula, she said, this was my opportunity, darling. She said, my opportunity to let him know what I thought of him. So she said, and the language she came out with, but she said it in this dead posh voice. And it was just more or less, you know, when you're laughing at it, where I usually would be offended and think, oh, that's disgusting. I was just laughing. So there is the accent means everything, absolutely everything. Now, let's see some questions we've got here. Paul, now this I'm going to pull you up on. Paula would be a nice person if she didn't turn on people and spread and start trouble when people stand up to her or disagree with her. Well, you know, that's would be a nice person. But anyway, I'll let you reply to that, Paul. I'll give you a reply. I can't reply to it.
Well, firstly, yes, I am a nice person because, again, like I've always said, one negative comment cannot compare to half a dozen positive comments. And I get a lot more positive than I do negative. Unfortunately, I do get negative, but again, they've got a right to an opinion. I've never turned on people. So, no. I've had to make decisions that I wish I wasn't in the position to have to do so. I'm not perfect. Have I made mistakes? Yes. Have I been loud? Have I been over opinionated? Yes. Have I lied? No. Have I always told the truth? Yes. And for that, people can make their judgments, Anne.
Well, the way I view it is, Paula, right? The way I see it is she came on, it was all during that Decahegi palaver, wasn't it? On True Media. No, not True Media. The Honest Truth, wasn't it? Was the first one you came on. Yeah, I remember that, The Honest Truth. And I just watched bits of it. I didn't watch Hooks, didn't know who you were, didn't know your story or anything. Then I can't even remember. I just blindly asked you on to a talk, didn't I? Because I saw something there and I thought, we'll have to talk about this. And I've got the actual oh wait, what's this? I'll ask that in a minute. It's just, and I thought you'll have to come on in and start talking about victims. That's it, not being a victim. Now, this is another thing where I'm going to do that little bit of a challenge here. the thing was, you were saying from day one, you were never a victim. You were
Of
making
Decca.
that start. Never a victim of Decca.
Nope.
Now, yesterday, and I'd like to know your views on this, you were coming across as wanting to be a victim to me. And that was my view of it. You were sounding like a victim. Nobody saying, oh, my friends are turning on me and all this. And that may sound harsh.
No.
No, don't agree with me. Don't agree with me just because you
No,
want
I
to.
didn't.
Because,
You're right.
but it sounded like that. But is that a bad thing? No, it isn't. Because I think people are false to themselves. We all need to feel a victim at some time, and feel hard done to. And this is getting back into the making friends, which is important issue on here.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All that I can say to people is this, and I've said it in the past: look, you can have good talks to people. I mean, there's people on YouTube, two people especially, that I really get on with, and on Facebook we're always communicating with each other. But I've never met these people in real life.
Yeah.
I've only spoken to them on YouTube or spoken to them on Facebook. Would I tell them anything, that was sensitive? No, I wouldn't. That I didn't want getting out there. I wish I had sensitive stuff to talk about, but I'm just not that exciting. I'm not, Paula. I know people say, "Oh, your secrets." People go, "Oh, no, what's he hiding?"
What's
and all
on my
this.
mind? Because sharing's caring.
Well, I say to myself, I just wish I had loads of data on me, because I'd be exciting then. I'm one of the most, and people say, would you write a book about your life? bored, and it would be.
I'd fall asleep at the first chapter of Minds.
This is it. But yet, if it can, what I'll do, if I find someone I really like, I will work to stay friends with them, because I think, oh, that's nice. Because I've got someone on Twitter that years we've been following each other. I don't even know her name, a real name. But we have such banter and fun behind the scenes. And for years we have been following each other. But she always says one thing, and I think she's actually got it on her profile of her Twitter. It's only it's only social media she's got on there. It's only social media. In other words, don't let it get you. Here we are. We've got God bleeding. That's the bleeding big spenders, eh? 179. God, I'll knock myself out on that, won't I? Hey. Anyway, why did you?
What's with the question of the night, pal?
Why did you try and set Deggy up?
I don't know. Go and ask the people that fed you the lies.
Because there was a lot of things going around which you weren't saying, weren't there? Yeah. I know that.
New media, the thing is, seen the Carla Golden account?
The what?
The Carla Golden account, Donna Humble's. That's Carla Golden's on Facebook. That's Donna Humble, but it's now disappeared.
I don't know. But what we'll do...
But I've got proof of that. I've got all the proof.
Just let's put it this way, right? We'll get off the subject of the Humbles, because it's not.
I know, because it's just.
But just, I want to clarify one thing, because you've been called a liar over this, right? Which, do you remember when I said, can you send me certain recordings? Because I've got to know for myself that these exist. These recordings exist. Now, what it was, and I can confirm now, Donna did get in touch, and we got this last time. We're going to say Donna did get in touch with.
Sorry.
It may have been you, might have been, I don't know, someone else. But she did. And what she said, she didn't say she was getting beaten up.
Nope.
She said he was abusive towards her. But as I said to you, I think she's making this up. It's a trap.
And I sent you the screenshot of her saying, asking why he's got bruised knuckles. And I remember you asking me for those messages only in respect.
So and it wasn't like,
and that's what I said to you. I don't hold on to messages for any other reason than... Sorry.
Let's stress this, right? You didn't send them to me. I said to you, because we were going to have... Do you remember we were going to have the talk the day after, which we've just been talking about? And I said, look, Paula, I've got to hear these messages so I know that you're not making, basically so I knew you ain't making it up.
Yes.
Because I wasn't going to take one side against it.
No.
But let's put it this way. The rumour has got out there, or the thing has got out there that she said he was knocking her about. She didn't. What she said was, it was basically, he was abusive. Now, you can take that as verbally abusive. But let's put it this way. I don't think she was telling the truth. And that's my honest opinion from listening to her. I thought this is some kind of ruse here. So I just also clarified that. And
see that very night, she contacted Maria Howarth. Carol Curtis, I don't know. I don't know if it's the same person, but no, I don't even want to discuss with her because that's a different subject. But that night I spoke out in the cesspit. Donna Humble on the Carla Golden account messaged Maria Howarth and said, but what if it is true? And I've got the messages from Maria Howarth saying, but what if it is true? And I was like to her, what do we do? We've done all we can. No, but that's the two of them that sent me that. Well, Donna sent that to Maria, and then Maria Howarth sent me a message saying, but what if it's true? In previous messages before that, Maria Howarth has said, I think he is beating it up, by the way.
Well, do you know what? Just let's get
this
straight.
I don't know, and I can't accuse. I cannot accuse.
Let's put it this way. I don't believe 1 minute he is. I think that this was some kind of ruse that went wrong. But Donna did not say she was being physically beaten. And I'll say that straight to get the thing right. And Paula, you didn't say it, did you?
No.
You never said it.
No, I didn't say it. No.
Carol Case got something here. Paula's told me at the beginning of chat to get off because obviously I made a comment on another channel about it. She has no right to, well, of course she doesn't, Carol, because you're on mine and I always get on with you, or that's it.
I just understand why she's on, because she's always put me down on her channels. Well, and again, she doesn't know me. Again,
she's got a right to be on here though, Paula. That's
not a problem, but
she's always been a very supportive, Carol. Here we are. What's this other one? What's this? Paula bullied a vulnerable man.
Oh, Yeti, that everybody else went on and bullied. No, Yeti came on to the cesspit.
Oh, Yeti. You bullied Yeti.
Yeti came on to the cesspit, right, the next night, and he tried to poke at everybody on the channel. And I went, well, wait a minute. All these men gave me a platform last night to use my voice and speak about it. I say, so for him to come on, and he comes on every channel and he starts goading people. So yes, he was getting back what he was giving out. He then went on to Exposure, where Humble and everybody else was taking a pop at him. And he goes on to numerous other channels and does the same. So I wasn't bullying him. It was like, don't you come on here and start causing conflict when we're having a general chit-chat.
I know what you're talking about, because wasn't there
they all slag him off.
There was an Irishman called Murphy, wasn't there, who came on and said...
Murphy came on and he was having a poke at me, and then he went straight on to Exposure.
Well, wait a minute. Let's just talk about this, because you're going on.
I know, sorry, I'm not
that's why I wanted you... It would have been ideal if you'd done the thing the day after with me instead. And I'm not being audible because I would...
No, and you know I take everything you say.
But
you do. I listen to you. Well, I should have listened more.
What I want to say is to clarify for people. Remember, and I thought Murphy was making valid points. He was, Paul. I thought Murphy was making very, very valid points in that.
Yeah.
I don't know about this Yeti fella. I've heard him, and some things I've thought. You know, I don't know where he does gold people, but he seems to be doing it, you know, just as a bit of fun, and he's not really vicious about it, which some of them can be really, really vicious when they go.
Yeah, they can.
But what Murphy was saying was, he was saying it came across like a bullying, but what it was, I saw that and I thought, when I was watching it, I thought, you two, which we've just discussed, you were too out there, and you were shouting at him. You were going on, and actually Murphy at the end was made up with you, didn't he? He really made a point.
No, because he then went straight on to Exposure and started flagging me off to Humble. Yes.
Oh, because I thought the end he said, "Oh no."
No, and then he went on, and they were all started slagging.
But again, at the time, Paula,
I know.
you did come across as it's like
And I get that.
they were trying to talk to you, and you just cut right
I was
in
like,
and go on about something else.
I know.
You wait, listen, and I thought, listen to what they're saying. But you know, what's this? How's the pain? I'd rather have done a deal with the devil than PB. Well, it depends what deal you're doing, doesn't it? But what's
Well,
that?
I sleep below the devil, so no chance of that, pal. Next.
Yeah. See, I don't know much about Yes. I think he does go, but he tries.
Yeah.
He's gentle about it compared to what is out there. I mean, there's some horrible ones out there. And they go on, oh, we're roasting. It's banter. It's not. It's bullying. It's out now. It's horrific bullying what they get up to.
And do you know what? See, that night I was shouting. Then yeah, I would put myself in that bullying category that night. Yes, I would. That was so wrong.
I've got a fake.
So wrong. And yeah, he is harmless. But again, it's like everybody says we all say to each other, if you're going to put yourself out there, you're going to get something back. So, you know, you can't excuse all his behaviour and allow him to do it. You can't allow him just to come on and insult people.
Yeah.
But then I'm just as bad for biting back. And again, to me, it just diminished what I'd done the night before. It really did.
Yeah. Is
Destroyed that.
Is this the real Peggy? Can someone check? God, you know what, Paula, right? I must say, you know, I try to keep my channel clean, but it gets infested by these vermin now and again. Darling, I feel quite queasy now. Queasy. Said the wrong word there, wheezy. I feel quite queasy now at the moment, if it is her. Surely she would not darken my step with her bigoted self. Bigoted and bullying.
I know. Just, honestly, it's like, John.
Paul, and I'm in your corner 100% respect. Now, another thing, thank you for that, John.
Thank you, darling.
You haven't been timed out. I don't know. Stick, have you been timed out? Maybe one of me mods did. Have you been saying something naughty?
See, Anne always donates some money to the dog charities and stuff as well, don't you? It always helps.
How do you know that?
Because I donated to you.
I could be planning to having a good time, go down the clubs and, you know, get someone drunk and say, come on, you know, I look beautiful when you've had a few pints down you. You don't know, do you? We go, but
people think you're funny on here.
Oh God! Now Paris always knows. Paris knows who's naughty and who isn't. So Stick, you'll have to put up with it. No, you can't do that. So actually, Stick.
No.
You can't do that. You can't do that. And if you carry on, you're getting blocked. And Paris, any more nonsense like that, you can block them, right? But yeah, so I've just lost my train of thought now. What should we get back onto? Oh yeah, Paul, right, we've got to get back onto this friendship thing because I think it's vitally important. Yeah, I see this all the time. No people making deep friendships, but also, and this is what you've got to be vitally careful of. And people who know me for a while will know I go on about things called Job's comforters, which I'm big on, and I've always disliked people like this. And that was because basically my mama and my uncle, her brother, used to talk about this. Well, my uncle being a Southern Irish man, and my mama was Southern Irish, but my uncle used to call them sweet holes. Sweet holes. Oh my God. Oh, I can feel your pain and all this business, you know, that way. Now, a Job's comfort is someone, it comes from the Bible, the book of Job, when Job was being tormented by the devil, and God was saying to the devil, well, you can do it, you know, to prove that he was faithful, it's remained faithful to God. Now, his friends come to cheer him up, but all they end up doing is making it worse because they're more or less telling him, oh yeah, but you must be a bad person if God's allowing this to happen. You must be basically that way. You must have done something wrong, so they're putting it wrong. Now, I looked and I had to look. I looked when you posted on Facebook and thought, hey, well, I better see it now. I better see it in here that Job's comforting going on. You mean well, but they actually have the opposite effect. And so, oh yeah, Paula. Not all of them. All of them. So a lot of them were saying the right thing. They were saying, "Oh, just forget them, ignore them, Paula." That's the right attitude to take.
Yeah.
But some of them were like, "Oh yeah, the bees this," and one was calling them people who were not safe around children and all this. And I thought,
no,
that's what I don't like, because
that's a very touchy subject, especially people that's been involved with a situation like that as a child.
Well, it's not just that. It wasn't that so much. It's just when people get support on social media, you have to be very, very careful, people.
Yes.
Very, very careful. Because what happens is they'll come to you and they mean well and they believe it. They believe it at that moment. They're like, oh, you know, I feel your pain and I do this, I do that. But what they're doing is they're confirming. It's like me turning around to you now, which, you know, when we have talks in the chat and you say something, I'll always straight away, I won't go, oh yeah.
Don't sugarcoat it. You don't sugarcoat it.
I don't. I'll say to you, no, don't think. Stop looking for friends on YouTube that you can rely on and all this business.
Yeah.
Because once you start saying, oh yeah, you're right, I know what you mean. Oh, this, and start rubbing it in. What you're saying is, yeah, Paula, you're a crap person and people are going to treat you like crap. That's what you're thinking in your head. It's confirming that. You might get the momentary, oh, someone agrees with me, isn't that great? And it lifts you. I tell you now, deep down in your psyche, that's saying to you, your life's crap. It's no point. People don't like you, blah, blah, blah. No matter which way they're putting it, with the thing to do is turn around and say to the person is, what I said to you straight away wasn't it? Just don't go take their notes. If you want to walk away, let them walk away. You know, let them do it. You really need someone around you that's going to walk away. And that's the way I see it. It's nice. It's very, very nice, I say, to have friends. But I've seen it turn nasty too many times. Look at how many people within weeks on YouTube with the best of friends and now are ripping each other to bits. They're at each other's throats.
It's like a time warp. It's like a not time warp. It's like a, what do you call that? A Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
It's like we're all like, what the? And excuse my language, and I always say this to Anne in personal chats as well. Excuse my language, I don't like swearing in front of Anne. But it's like, what the fuck is going on here? What happens? Everybody's turning against each other, and everybody's trying to prove they're telling the truth.
Yeah.
But there's only so many telling the truth.
Yeah, wait a minute. One. All right. Do you know if anyone starts going on about this moderator, Paris, block them. Don't even time them out, block them. If they use the word Anne is the best moderator, block them. Because that's your mate, actually, the fake Anne. They're trying to cause trouble with the fake Anne. And that's your friend, Chris Hartley. I know for the fact it's it.
What are they saying in the chat?
No, they're going on, oh, Anne's the best mod on YouTube. She said, funny, they're trying to make out that this fake Anne, which is your mate, as I say.
Well, do you know what? Don't be doing this, pal. Don't be doing this on Anne's channel, because there's no exceptions. Absolute no exceptions, because, like, again, this was like today. Anne's gave me the option to do this. So there's no exceptions.
Well, that's
no attached, no.
You'll
and
see
I don't even really speak to him anymore. But I tell you something, like I've walked away for a lot of people and disagreed with him, that stands with him when it comes to you as well. There's no need for that.
Just let's say this right. It's on it. I'll call it an it, because it tries to pretend to be me. He was stalking me on YouTube ages ago. The most horrendous thing saying to me, let me know he was stalking me. He put a false account up, not YouTube, Twitter. Put a false account on Twitter, making it obvious it was him that had done it in my name, right? And he's the one. What happened was he was on The Honest Truth. And I said, this was when the acro thing started with Deck and all that. And I said, these people need to produce acros. And I put his name on it, Chris Hartley. Paula, the next day he vanished. He vanished. Where did he go? vanished off where he was always on The Honest Truth, giving it loads, coming out with his hate speech and all this, and screaming at me and other people. But I say anything about that, Paris just or Mrs. Magpie, they're blocked. They're not even, don't even question them or challenge them, just block them. But that's what it's on the Lindsay thing channel, Lindsay Kilpatrick. It was the New Laces Let's Hate on Anne thing with that Emma one. Leave them.
Oh, that channel. Oh, he's a mod on that channel. That'll be the channel that
and Exposure TV.
She was disagreeing. She was disagreeing.
Wait. Just let's. I don't even want to talk about it, because if I get on to Lindsay Kilpatrick, I'll be talking about things I know, and I don't want that. I've been told, which you don't want to.
No right to have an opinion, though. Carry on.
So that's it. They want to do that hate stuff. That's up to them. It's their channel that eventually the algorithm will catch up with and bring it down, like Exposure will. They've said too much. Yep. Takes a few months, but then the algorithm goes, "Come on, you're down," and it will go back, right back to the beginning. So that's what happened to The Honest Truth. He thought I'd taken him down. I hadn't. I hadn't taken this channel down. It was
easy to throw daggers at people that they don't get on with, and it's a case of keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Yeah.
And so that's what they don't all realise.
Let's put it this way: it's nice to be so popular, though, Paula.
You know what? I just like the sun glistening in the back of your chair.
I know, yeah. The way I've got the shade on, but it
like you see the back. It's like a wee halo.
Oh God, that suits me fine, doesn't it? Suits me fine. Absolutely lovely. But yeah, well, certain people aren't going to be getting me doing the albums. I'll be doing people's albums from now on. That come on, giving you a free reading from the albums. But anyway,
yes.
Oh, Paula's a good egg. Where's it gone? So that's out the way, anyway.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Chris. But anyway, let's carry on talking about this. So, what do you think happened? Because I don't know the full story, because I wasn't there from the beginning. When did it first go, or to put it for want of another word, tits up for you on YouTube? When did it first blow up, without naming people or anything? What specifically happened that time?
When a good friend needed support on his own channel and wasn't getting it, so I done a video and I sent it to him and I said, "Please put this up." And again, it was like, we all support each other. We're all supposed to support each other. Where are you all when the support's needed?
Yeah.
Then January time, but a month or so, I'd need to go back to the actual date of the messages. I'm sure it's January. I can't remember the Carla Golden account, right? But the messages, and my friend was getting them as well. And again, they were like, "Is this a test? Because they do this to people," and they've openly admitted it. And I was like, "I've got to tread carefully with this one." So we kept denying it. And we continuously get cryptic messages. And it becomes apparent I'm supposed to be an actress. Google my name and I'll come up as an actress. So straight away I was like, are they kidding me? I've been friends with them for nearly 3 years. But why are they coming out and saying something like this now? So then I'd spoke to Mrs. H about it, and I even got the message for her saying that when she approached Mr. H about it, he just stared at her. And then Mr. H just went to my friends, "You've told Paula everything I've said about you." And he was like, "What do you mean?" That was the only one thing he told me. Only one thing he told me, because we were talking about these messages we're both getting. So my first thought was, so what else have you said about me? It couldn't be my friend, but no, something's not right. So I let it go. And then after a while, speaking to Maria Howarth, telling about the messages, gave her the password to my Facebook account to show her all the proof. And then she's like, "I just blocked John." So I blocked John. And then Donna started playing funny on her messages. Again,
Ava,
Maria was like, sorry.
Ava, wait a minute, I said no names.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So then I sent, I was told to block this other account, which I did. Because at that point, there was a big video put up about me, and I was like, right, I've walked away, I blocked you, I've not said anything, I've just went on my merry way. Why are you putting this up about me? Why are you poking at me? I've walked away. And on the good advice with people for 2 months, just don't do it, just don't respond, they'll just stop. And they didn't. So it got to that point where I had to make a stand. And now, is it last week? There's been messages put up. There's been messages put up from my kid's dead father's son from 8 years ago on Facebook. That's what they've put up to try and make me to be bad. And I know exactly who that is right now. I didn't bully a vulnerable man.
But what's
anyway,
this? What is this going on about this Yessie again?
Yes.
That when you were on Thinker, oh my God, exposing enablers' rights. If you think that was bullying, please sit in this chair sometime. Then you'll know what bullying's like. When your mere existence, the fact you exist, actually gets you hated daily on YouTube.
The hate you've had, the names you've been called.
And you just have to go, well, the bigoted, ignorant people. And it proves one point which I used to say, funny enough, I'll just mention this. I remember when I was doing a course ages ago, and this woman came in, she said, men, so said, it's like an inbred thing in men, isn't it, that the bigots against LGBTQI people and all this business, the bigots and all this. And so I was sitting there, and twice I tried to say to her, I'll have to disagree with you there. I've met some very, very bigoted women, horrible bigoted women, and trying to say no all the time, but I didn't have a say in this, which I found ironic. I couldn't get a word in, so I thought, oh, get on with it. Believe that it's just a bad thing, but actually some of the worst ones are women. And that's what's really, because we're led to believe women are more inclusive, women are more, what I find, women are more two-faced when they meet you. They'll meet you and be all, oh yeah, I think it's great, and I think, why can't you live your life? It's not your fault the way you were born, all this. Then they'll turn around on a fake account.
I don't understand that. I can't
come out with the most vile hate, and it's like, I
can't keep up with that. I can't remember my passwords.
It's like, two-faced. But you just have to say, well, that's my existing, or anyone else existing, or you existing, that's their problem. But they make it your problem when they start actually telling lies and things about you. That's when they make you a problem.
But that's why I had to stand up.
They just know what they are.
Again, I've always said I've put myself out there online. Granted, right? But say the 80 side of things, do you know what I mean? That was that. I put myself to a level I shouldn't have went to. But
I think what it was, Paula, when you came on. When you came online, you started talking about Decade. Then you had to take the chance that you were going to get it. People have the right to start questioning you. And that's it. If you go out, it's like, I'll say something about someone, because I will pull people up like you did that Kelly one, which someone was giving out about Bunny and Kelly. Yeah. No, I'll say it because I say I'll expose people for when they are coming, or they have come out with hate speech and all this business. I'll expose them for it. But that they've got the right to turn around and say that to me, say, well, you shouldn't be doing that, because I've actually put the situation out there and I've said, here we are, so you come back at me, and that's what happens. Here we are exposing. I tell you what, start putting some money my way. I've got to get a date tonight. Put money my way and I'll start asking you questions. On a roll. I want to be on a roll. Get me date tonight.
I know.
Here we are. No, we're not asking questions like that, bull chop. It's not about silly things like that, But that's, even if it was, that's private, isn't it, Paula? Private. It's like,
I don't know what it is, but I can only begin to imagine. If it's anything to do with pictures, then no.
Oh no, not that. But it's like someone the other day was asking me. This is someone that I know, and said, "Oh, have you had a long relationship and all this?" I said, "I don't talk about relationships. I don't." Dead on, and I don't talk about anyone else's relationships either. And my friends know that, they know. I say, "You've got any problems in your relationship, sort them out yourself. I don't want to know." Because it's, I'm sorry, people in a relationship are like children. They'll be warm 1 minute, then they'll be the best of friends. And as I say, I'm not going to get into
I'm too
it.
busy being a bully online and neglecting my children. I don't have time for a relationship.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you've got your children locked in a cupboard, haven't you?
I don't know. Do you know what?
Wait, yeah.
That cage that you put me in, I got a 2-for-1 deal.
2 1. But do you remember, because every time you contact me on Facebook, you're in that kitchen, aren't you, working away like mad? It's like you're just
You know what
you're either cooking something or washing
housework.
something or doing something. You're multitasking at the same time, aren't you?
Well, you know what, Anne? See my daughter, or I went out shopping for new clothes the other day. And now we spoke about the autism stuff.
Mm.
Oh, I went out and got our first 3 training bras.
Oh, I don't want to know. Don't talk about that on here. Don't talk about that.
No, I was talking about the stuff I had to get her. But okay, I had to get her new clothes because I've told you about her toilet and stuff like that. But it was just, I went, it was like supermarket sweep in the clothing department.
Yeah.
I just bought loads and loads and loads. And see, the thing is, she's no girly, and I want to buy all these frilly stuff and the bow stuff, but nah, she's a tomboy like her mum.
You get her what she feels comfortable in. That's what you get her, what she feels comfortable in.
She does.
Now, well, let's see. Expose enablers. This is your warning, right? Carry on. And I'm going to have to block you. I'm sorry, I don't want to, but if you've got a question,
if you don't like me, don't like me, fair enough. Move on.
That's it. It's just getting really, really insulting. So don't know who this expose enablers is, but behave yourself, because I don't want to block anyone.
I'll put you in a cage.
Now,
trust me.
So anyway, let's get back on to dissecting the person that is Paula Bennie. I keep on going to say Bennie. Bennie. Why do I say Bennie? I don't know. I always get mixed up. You would have to have
everybody says it.
You would have to have no good name, wouldn't you? Anyway.
Yeah.
Rich, isn't it? Bit rich. Anyway, so let's talk about this right now. This thing about the better put me Arkham away before the DLC. Now, this, yes, because you said that to me, haven't you? I'll give you my password in Facebook and all that. Now, how do you know? Trusting this, because you're trying to prove it. This is it. You're trying to prove it to yourself that you can trust someone. That's what you do. And you proved it to yourself that you can trust someone. How do you know I won't at some point turn on you? Or will fall out? And then I've got you, which I wouldn't do. I'm just not that.
No, I get you, but
but I could.
The people that have, have. And so, again, it's like I don't learn. I just don't learn from it. I don't know. I need to learn from it. Not to be so trusting.
What you've got to do is, it's not you need. What is you need to feel that, and some people do. A lot of people do. We've all got to feel the need that we can trust someone or say something. But there's trusting and there's being our way. Thank you. I wasn't saying no way to this. Thank you. I wasn't saying no way to that. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. But yeah, it's sometimes when people like that. No, the minute you said, because I've never agreed to take your password, have I, or anything like that?
No.
Because I don't want it. I don't see the need of having it.
Yeah.
But it's twofold. In other words, you want to prove that what you're saying is true, that you're not making things up. Yeah. And two, it's like you feel the need to really trust someone. And that's where I think you really need to work on it. Look, with a friend, you can have friends and you don't have to trust them. I've got people I'm very friendly with. Would I let them in my house on my own? No, I wouldn't. Is that because I'm bad-minded? No, because human curiosity is I don't want them going through my knicker drawer and, having a good search to see if they can find it in my knicker straw. I'm not going after that, looking through. And that's the way you've got to look at it. You think people are humans and they will go. Look, and that's why when I remember Danny Christie, when he fell out with, I can't remember his name. I was only speaking about him to him the other day. Bobby Kay. He fell out with Bobby Kay. I said, well, if you trusted Bobby Kay with some information that you didn't want getting out, that's your fault. That's the way I see it. It's bad on both sides, but you shouldn't trust someone with information. And maybe it was the way I was brought up. It's just that you should never. I don't see. I don't know whether it's so true. I can't see why people want to. Yeah, I can't see why people want to be in a situation. It seems to be like almost like a daddy or mummy thing. I trust mummy. I trust daddy. So I've got someone I can trust and I can tell them what I want. Sometimes it's best not to, or I think the safe option is not to. I've never had that need. And that's what I'm like. I've never had the need to sort of tell people, not so much intimate, but private things about myself. I'll just say to someone, it's like someone starts talking about relationships or anything else, I don't go on to that subject because that's private. I was brought up. What goes on between two people is their private life, and you don't do it in public. It's the old Italian way, basically. You don't do washing in public. That's the way you do it. But people get pulled up all the time by this through the need, the passion to want to be trusted and but trusting someone doesn't make the best friendship, because actually what you want to do, I suppose the trust is that you can say something to someone. It's like the way we communicate. You'll say something to me, I'll say something to you, but we'll be honest with each other. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm not going to tell you something I think you want to hear.
Honest,
that's honest. It. You're honest, and I think being honest is the best way, because then, without being rude, because sometimes people can be honest and they say they're being honest when they're just damn well being rude. There's a difference between the two. Well, that's before anyone says that I can be rude, yeah, I can be rude, but it's when I want to be rude. I know the difference.
Oh, Anne's a lady. Trust me. She can like make you feel scared in a very elegant way.
Get this. Do you know what? I have a servant, and she decides when she's going. Paris says, I've got to go now. I'm sorry, take care. I mean, what's the way it come to when your servants decide when they're going to go off duty? Really? Goodbye, Paris, lovely. Oh, thanks, sweetheart.
Oh, no. You're something else, honestly. You really are.
I don't know. What's this?
Oh, crikey.
Jack, can you see the comments?
No. If I hit my chat on my phone,
do you know anything about a Jackie? Someone called Jackie with Jakki.
No. What's she saying?
Just do you want me to put her up? Ask Paula if a real name ID, Jackie McCann.
I need to actually go and just take that. Hang on.
Oh,
no, I'm texting you. My name's Paula Elizabeth Barbara Bennie.
Oh God, you're in a bucket.
Look, that's my nana and Grandpa's bath next to the coal fire, Anne.
Oh God, that's cute.
Right, and that's what my sister was. One of the presents my sister had done for my Christmas. So no, my real name is Paula Elizabeth Barbara Bennie.
Oh no, they like to imagine it, don't they? That's what they do.
Do the thing is, I would want to tell anybody go into media and watch all the videos, because one of them I put up my my college and everything. No, sorry.
Cursed hex.
Sorry.
Bleak Winters to you. Famines, Bleak Winters for mentioning the name of the. That's the Voldemort. That's Voldemort on this channel. Voldemort. Here, Squat Master. I'll make you an. I will make you a mod, but I can only do it when I'm off. When I'm off live, so we'll make you a mod. Don't worry, because I trust Squat Master. He's all right. He's fine. But yeah, so. Paula didn't say that. She went into a strange trance then and was taken over by a devil who made her let out that name. So don't take any notes of that business. You never heard that. You never heard that at all. Yes.
My name? No, because my sisters actually wanted me to be called Pauline, and I've always said to them, Pauline? Pauline?
Pauline. Paula.
So I get Paula. Yep, Paula. Yep, Paula. And the funny thing is, because when I burnt, I was actually primary 6, summer holidays, and my stepbrother had went to take the kettle for the worktop, and it was still attached to the flex. So it bounced out his hand and went right down my leg. And I just get called Polly, put the kettle on. So that's other proof that's my name.
But
Polly,
anyway,
put the kettle on. How original.
But anyway, let's get on to, because we'll have to start winding this up, where you're going now. Isn't it unbelievable? It's gone 8 o'clock and the sun's still shining. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous out there.
The sun's just shining behind you.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Because you see, what it is, I'm lucky. We get the sun in the back gardens. We get the full sun there. The front, though, is a bit of a nightmare because you have to put the lights on earlier because, of course, the sun's coming in there. We've got the shade in the front room. It's great in summer, but in the winter, you're using your electricity, of course, more.
I know how much the sun means to you to get out in your garden.
Oh, I'm not really a fan of the sun itself, and I'm not a fan of gardening. People think I love gardening. I don't. It's something that has to be done. And I made the mistake.
You tell me you're in the garden all the time, you're really just peeping over the fence and looking at the neighbours.
Oh, God. They're looking at me more like us. But yet, no, I did it years ago, and I did it's a knot garden mixed with a cottage garden, and they're 2 types of garden you can't let go. And I let it go for a couple of years, and it's like you really have to get into it. They're ones where because they're all little hedges and cottage garden plants and stuff like that. So I was like, oh God, what did I do that for? And I've had to take the paving up. And I'm going to relay. Oh, it's just a nightmare, but it's going to be done eventually. But what I want to get onto, where does Paula go from now?
Well, it's going to be more positive stuff.
No, wait a minute. It doesn't have to be positive. I keep on saying to this piece, I don't want this obsession is with positivity.
I'm going to learn.
Positive thought never won a war. Actually, negative thought can save you from a lot of trouble. So we don't need to use the word positive unless you're doing the positive, negative, positive sandwich. In other words, I like you, you nice Paula, you silly bitch. Oh no, you're lovely, Paula, you really are lovely. You know, that's a positive, negative, positive thing.
But you do it in a Scottish accent.
Oh, I'm not doing that. I did that in private. I'm not doing it. I'll get banned for it. I'll get banned from YouTube. I will get banned. Paula's heard my Scottish accent. You said it was quite good, didn't you?
It was, yes. Yeah, it's going to be a murder.
Talented, absolutely talented I am. But what I want to say to you, I'm glad you used that word though, positive. No, actually, a bit of negative thought in your head can actually make you get on the right track, because if you stop thinking, oh, I must have to trust this person. Don't trust people fully. And it sounds horrible, that, but you've got to be realistic.
No, it's true.
What it is, if you don't fully trust someone, guess what? Or people on social media, let's say, and but you have a nice friendship with them, guess what? That stops you being hurt. That's what it does. So negativity can actually be a shield to protect you. And what did he say? The reason why humans, which we do, if we pare down humans and we're being honest, we are not positive thinkers by nature. And the reason we're not positive thinkers by nature, that's evolution. Because guess what? And that's where paranoia can come into it now. You need paranoia to survive. Because if you went through life, oh, guess what? Heaven's wonderful and sunshine and
We
all
don't
the
all,
animals.
we don't all live in Disneyland.
They say, look at that lovely dog with the big massive head and the big teeth. Oh, I'll just go and pet it. Then your arm's bitten off. You know, that's it. So negative thought can't save a person. They really can. So that's one thing. But where do you see going forward now?
To learn from what's went on and not beat myself up with anger, because again, I had all that anger held in a couple of weeks ago and it came out to a certain point and then it just went. So it kind of reversed what I'd actually hoped to achieve. So for that, it's just going to be, I'm focusing on helping the people that I've always helped. I'm not going to be involved in the drama. I won't be part of, like other channels to inflict hate or anything on people, because what I've learned is it doesn't achieve anything. It doesn't. And you need to be careful in your opinions, including myself. It's how you put it across, how it comes across to the other person, Be thoughtful, be kind.
Just to tell you about a negative thing, I've just got rid of that enabling thing, exposing and enabling. Another one that was being funny. They were warned them, didn't I, or hear that?
Yeah,
carried on. You just they don't listen, and then they're crying. I don't have freedom of speech. No, that's not freedom of speech. That's just being extremely personal, hateful to you. So, so Dark Wizard don't even bother exposing enablers, talking to them, because they're gone. It just went too far, and sometimes you've got to take action on them. It's pissy, but won't have that nonsense on my channel, Paul. They won't have it. It's counterproductive. They want to
grow up. If I be told off, then Anne will do it. Anne will do it.
Just don't see the point in playing with them. But anyway, so I'll be keeping an eye on you and telling you, and also this as well, right, which we have to talk about. Helping other people out. I've said before this time as well. You're no good to anyone unless you're strong yourself, and unless you're on a firm platform yourself. You're absolutely no use to anyone yourself. And what you've got to do is be careful of. It's getting into the situation of finding comfort or solace or company with misery. In other words, you go out and you find other people that are in the same situation, and you get into this situation where you're all told. They call it finding comfort in misery. Might sound like a harsh word, but basically what they're saying is you're attracted to your situations that are difficult, that reflect something that you're thinking or you're feeling, and then you all start talking about these things that have happened. But what it does, it doesn't do anything to solve the situation. It becomes a whirlpool of misery, and no one gets out of it.
No.
The only way you can get out of it is by not labeling it like I do with you, when you turn around and say to me, well, and let me just put it, Paul doesn't come to me, you don't, do you? We have a laugh. That's the majority of the time, having a laugh. But
you're quick to tell me to stop.
I'm just watching here. And you don't know whether it's the real people that are coming up.
Who is it now?
Maria. You don't know it's the real people. But anyway, everyone gets round up in this misery thing, and it doesn't help them. It just becomes a thing where, look, going on and thinking about the past doesn't cure or doesn't make a good future. A focus should always be on, how are you going to deal with that? How are you going to accept it? How are you going to work on it? It might take you a long time to work on your experience that you went through. It's not easy. It's not very easy. You need to get professional help. You're not going to get it on YouTube, but all that you can
No.
do is say, right, go get help, get the help you want. Because also what you've got to be careful of as well is that if you say something to someone, and this is why people are best being, how can I put it, being professionally trained and fully professionally trained.
Yep.
If you say something to someone that could make them take action on something or do something, they're going to get right to you and say, but you told me that. And you may not have told them that, but you
Yep.
told me that. And then it becomes a whole explosion where I say a support group should be, right, you've talked about your experiences. Now, where's the avenue out of this? Where's the going forward? Instead of sitting there, you know.
Yeah.
That's it. And also, and I heard this, I forget where I heard it the other day, and I'm fully believing this. Someone was saying, oh, yeah, it was on that wonderful channel. Oh, Soft White Underbelly.
Right.
People felt wonderful channel. He has people from Skid Row in America on his channel. Addicts, street workers, also amazing, some absolutely tragic stories. And everyone should watch it because guess what? It actually lets you see what addiction, not just drugs, what addiction can do to you. Alcohol as well can do to a person, some tragic things. But one of the women was on there and she said she was going for therapy and they were taking her back all the time. And she said suddenly the therapist turned, they were trying to get her to go back to get recovered memories, which you've got to be very careful with. Not all recovered memories are genuine. It can be fake recovered memories. Now, she said, but this thing you're turning around to, and I thought that's a good counselor or doctor said to her, why are you looking back? Stop looking back and look, the brain is a great defender and great protector. And if it won't let you remember something, it won't let you remember for a reason. It's because it's protecting you. It's saying, if you remember this, you'll bring it into your life a load of stress and hurt. Now, sometimes, but you need a professional to work this out. Sometimes it's good to bring the past out. You need to address it. But you've got to be very careful that you don't start looking for things or bringing things out that really are best kept in the cupboard and just locked there because they'll cause trauma. And I thought she's so right. She had to bring, so she said, I stopped trying to get other things from the past. She only got out of the past what she needed to get out to understand her present situation. And that's it. And that's why people, it's best to say, we're standing here. If you're in a help group, this is my advice to you and to all people, because you help each other. It's not, I'd imagine it's not just you helping them. You're all helping each other in a way.
We all help each other, and we don't like try to say you need to do this or do that. It's just we just lift each other up. We do duets and videos. Like we've got the Facebook page, and it's just we put positive things up. And if somebody puts a picture up, we're boosting people's confidence. That's you don't need to be professional to do that. It's just being somebody by their side. That's it. You can never ever. I mean, everybody's situation is different, Anne. I went through things that people went through worse. So how could I possibly tell them what to do?
And what you do is you say, now what you've got, you get a list if you can, help them to get to anywhere they need to go. You know, if you can get a list of professionals they can get to. Now, of course, I know it's horrendously difficult. People are on 6-month bleeding wait lists and everything.
It's horrible.
But all that you can do is say, look, you've got through this. You just have to wait for it. And also be realistic. You have to be in the now. And I see you, which I have done, falling into this where it's like you have a dip and a crisis. And that's what happened yesterday. You had a dip, a crisis moment. And the problem with that, Paul, is not problem, I said the wrong way. The thing about that is that it's natural human response. And I keep on stressing this. For some reason, people, unless they're happy and everything's great, everything's wonderful, isn't life a joy? They have a bit of sadness or a disappointment, or life actually creeps up on them and says, actually, being alive and being a human being isn't an easy option all the time. And then suddenly, oh, I need counseling. Oh, I need this. Oh, no, it's a natural response to something that's happened. And if you approach it as a natural response, you'll get over it quicker. But when you think, oh, this is it in my life, I've actually experienced something bad, someone's passed away on me, or something's happened, guess what? You better get used to people passing away on you, because that's what life is. We come the minute, well, as I say, minute you're born into this world, the fact is every second is going towards leaving this world. And that's what you can't stop it. So there's no point. And when people do it, it's horrible, it's nasty, you miss them, but you know, that's what life's about. But anyway, Cass, oh, do you know what? I'm going to tell them off here. I love telling people off to say this. It's like to say, I'll miss your show, but I'll watch it back. I'm so late, folks. Don't interrupt me between a negative rant. I love me negativity. See, negativity is good. It helps one to feel. It helps one's heart and blood pressure. Right, Cass? That's it. You get bored. This is what happens when people are late or don't catch my lives. You get a board now with nails sticking up in it. You kneel on it and you say 100 Haylands and 1,000 Dragines, right? So that's what you do. Then you're forgiven for your absolute sin of not turning up for my life. Let's see. Hey, well, a Humble's here. No Humble will come in. Oh. Now, before you say anything horrible, before you end
nothing.
So, is there any chance, not being a peacemaker, because you know what I'm like, I'm not into it, but any chance you and Humble could come on, talk and just solve your differences and then be nice and go on your own way, even if you don't want to like each other ever again? Would that be all right? So they were Humble. If you heard that, if you wanted to come on at some point and not like, and you said this, you said that, you said this, you said that.
No,
it's just like saying,
I'm done with that. Too old to for that nonsense anymore.
If you want to say stuff up yours, one say to each other. You can say to each other, stuff you. Can't stand you. Bye-bye. Have a bad life. Suffer for the rest of eternity. Yeah. That's it. That's what you want to do. I think that would be a good idea. He's gone quiet now, so he does this to annoy me. He does this.
Certainly bring the views in.
Oh, well, are you suggesting I do it for views?
Yeah, clickbait.
Hey, pay for view, pay for view, pay for view. PPV. Really do it, what you call it, why when I'm on live can't I remember people's names? Adeka Heggie and Dean Lynch Ward. Really get it big, you know, the fights of the century, the fights of the year. Then it's like, is that it? Is it done? Is that it? Is it over now? You know, do it like that.
Do you want to do my TikToks with the headphones in? I just see me when I see you now.
Oh, those TikToks. Oh. They're just mad things they are. I don't get TikTok. To me, TikTok is like, what's going on here? And you see them. There's one girl on there. I know that she does. She's really, she must be making a fortune, you know. And she just does this. Wears a pink wig. And so makes face. And that's it. And it's like, there's something wrong here. When I'm missing a trick here if that gets you famous.
There's people eating in front of a microphone to have the extra noises, and it's like thousands log in to watch.
No, not well, Mrs. Magpie. Not now, because I'm going to have to end this now because I've got things to do after this. But Humble, if you want to arrange it to come on, say a day. And don't worry, Paula will be there because I'm going to keep her in a cage until that day, and then she'll have to come anyway.
You promised me I'd get out. You promised me today I'd get out for an hour.
You're staying in there and you're never getting out again. So you say a day.
That's why my
Humble
hair's
and
cut.
I'll say so.
I've never got my hair cut. I've been pulling it out because Anne's kept me in the cage.
Here we are. Let's see. Just oh, I'm well, thanks, Emma. Thank you. Yeah, well, pick a day, Humble, and we can talk about it. And talk about it, because you know, I won't let the two of you go toward it each other.
I've listened. I don't even want to do that anymore. It's too draining. Far too
Well, I
draining.
think
And
sometimes
nobody's health is worth losing over anything.
well, no one
Everybody's
can,
health's important.
well,
Everybody.
you can't move on, can you? And sometimes you've got to say, let this move on. And you
Yeah.
can say, don't like you, never want to meet you, you know, boss, you know, let's call it a day.
Closure.
We've got to do.
Closure. Closure. Definitely closure, Anne. Definitely.
Yeah, so you pick a day. That's what Humble's saying. So, Anne, I'll leave ladies first.
What day are we on? Monday? Whatever day suits you, Anne. Thanks,
Shall we?
John.
Here we are. Shall we do this? Let's say to get it done and out the way, so it's not like lingering or festering. How about do it as soon as we can tomorrow, if you want to?
Tomorrow's fine.
So if I say tomorrow 7 o'clock, are you all right with that, Humble? Tomorrow 7 o'clock. And it's just, you say what you want to say then, and we won't be talking about issues or anything like that I've got.
Yep.
Let's put it that way. So there we are. So Humble's agreed to it. So 7 o'clock tomorrow. And of course,
no problem.
It's just that putting it out the way and then moving on, and with the agreement that unless something silly happens, because you can say to someone, this is what you can say, don't ever mention them again or mention each other again. But I tell you what, sometimes things happen where you have to mention, so I'm not going to make that stipulation. Sometimes things do happen that you have to mention someone that you've agreed to make peace with. I've known that to happen before. But then what I'll do now is we'll wrap it up for today, and then tomorrow at 7 o'clock we'll be back so that you and Humble can say what you want to say. And this is it, and this is another thing as well, Paula, right? Start saying what you want to say and not what you think sometimes what people want you to say. Because I find you do that sometimes. It's like you're saying what you want people to hear, or you're trying to get it. No, say what, if they don't like it, they don't like it. If they
know me too well.
That's it. I'm working out. I know when someone's trying to tell you, to impress you with what they're saying.
You just know me too well. It's crazy. It's crazy.
So, anyway, I'm going to wrap it up now.
Thank you, sweetheart. And thank you to everybody who's tuned in. Thank you, guys.
See you all tomorrow for the next edition with Humble and Paula at 7 o'clock. So take care, my lovelies. Bye-bye now.